Okay, we are on the air. Hi, Angie. Thank you for asking me to do a reading for you today, and we're gonna be doing an exchange of the reading, and then you're gonna be doing the live hypnosis session for me on Friday at 8 o'clock, right? At Central Time. And so I'm excited about that too, and a little bit nervous too because I'd never been hypnotized before. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, kind of what you do, hypnosis sessions to search for information, or how does that usually work?
Well, we all have the power to heal ourselves, to heal our own bodies and heal our own minds and just release things. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. So in the hypnosis, I just take you to a very relaxed state where you can connect to that higher part of you and that healing part and the part that has all of the information that you've experienced. And we just relax and connect to that, let go of this world, and just
Hmm.
allow the information to flow and allow the answers to come in. People are in a relaxed state, but they're not asleep. So you can still open your eyes and look around and be like, okay, well, I'm here. I'm still here. I'm still aware and still in control. I can't make people do anything they don't want to do. It was funny when I was first in training, I took training for clinical hypnosis here in Houston, and then I did Beyond Quantum Healing that Candace Goldman came up with. She had worked with Dolores Cannon, and then I took Dolores Cannon's method, QHHT, which is very popular. But with the first method, I learned clinical hypnosis here. There was a guy who wanted to learn how to do the fun stuff like in Vegas, where
Mm.
you have people come up on stage and have them act like a chicken or whatever. And the thing with that kind of hypnosis is that those people are already willing to do something silly or do something, unusual because they volunteer and they walk up on stage. So I think people get the idea of like, oh, I'm going to do something I don't want to do, or I won't come out of this state of being hypnotized. And it's like, no, you're always in control in that state. You can always
Yeah,
open your eyes, look around. You're not going to do anything unusual. It's just a very positive experience.
yeah. And I was wanting to find some stuff on the super soldier and the SSP, stuff like that, with releasing some of the darker programming,
Right. Yeah, we
some of
can
that.
look at it. Yeah, we
Hmm.
can look at it and we can ask what can be healed around it, what can be released, and just get you disconnected from it. I see you as kind of being glued, stuck in with it like this, and we can just pull you apart and pull you
Yeah.
down more into this lifetime away from that.
Yeah, and the alien abduction to where they would have
Yeah.
taken me and cloned and done all that kind of trauma too if they took me off world and all that kind of stuff too, you know?
Yeah, all that craziness we can work on looking at. So what
Mhm.
people generally do is they generally write up questions. Like I have a generic email that I send out to everyone with sample questions. So you'll look at, what's your intention during the session? What questions would you like to be answered? So
Mhm.
everyone can watch the whole process through
Mhm.
that we do on Friday.
Yeah. And it'd be on your channel
Yeah,
live.
it'll be on my
Mhm.
channel if we can, figure out how to get it in synthesis and put it on yours and mine live. We'll figure that out before Friday, but it'll at
Mhm.
least be on my channel live. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and I shared on mine too. So
mhm.
so yeah, so and then I do these readings too now. So for the reading like this, I started doing that's usually like an hour session. And they can contact me on my email. It's christy.campbell.11 at gmail, and these are $44 for these sessions. So do you have a pricing, or do you go by so they kind of know how much a hypnosis session is?
I have them on sale now. They can look on my website and see. Right now, I have it on sale for $350, but
Okay.
we spend several hours together. I don't really limit the time that we spend together. We spend a lot of time talking beforehand about what they want from the
Mhm.
session. Then we do the session, and then we talk after to just bring them down, ground them, and make sense of what happened. So it can take 3, 4, 5 hours. It can take a while to go through the whole
Oh, wow.
thing.
And you
Yeah.
record all that? Do you always record it like that? Or
I record everything. I anticipate Friday yours is not going to take as long because we've known each other for a while. I already
mhm.
know pretty much what you
Yeah.
want, and
Mhm.
you're able to go in that state quickly and easily.
Mhm.
So when they tune in Friday, I'll already have done the induction where you're in that relaxed state, and we'll just go from there. So we may only be on for about an hour. And then we may want to record something after where you and I talk about it. So we could do like a second, little session after.
Yeah, like take notes and stuff of and within the few days too, probably afterwards, you know?
Yeah, a lot
So,
of times people come up with things afterwards that comes to their mind or could have some healing after for the next few days or the next week or two, which is pretty interesting.
yeah, cuz and then cuz we've done the on we've been on were we on Rob's too or just James's Super Soldier Talk?
Um,
We've just been on Super Soldier Talk.
we've been on
And
Super Soldier Talk together 2 or 3 times. I don't
yeah,
think we've been on Rob's together.
okay,
We've
just
both been
been.
on Rob's, but I don't think together. So,
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause, well, we first met because, we was searching for information, um, on because we both was seeing the same thing, so we can add to the vision of
mhm.
what we're seeing, which is,
Yeah,
not
when
very yeah, people usually you usually don't run into people who can merge with you, you know, so
Yeah, yeah, I could do that with you. I mean, when clients do a session with me, it's like I'm there with them and I'm seeing a lot of what's going on, but I don't, talk about what I see until after the session. But I use part of that to question the client, to kind
mhm.
of walk through the
Yeah,
maze with
I
them and
understand.
question them.
Mhm.
So even if they come to me with like only 10 questions, it becomes like 50, 60 questions because I'm just going through having a conversation of, what else do you see? What's happening?
Yeah, because you can see
Um,
what they're describing, so you can walk through with
yeah,
them.
yeah, I'm there with them, but I want it all to be built where it's theirs, like they're hearing it all come through them. And
Uh-huh.
then afterwards, I'll say what I see. Now, I do have someone that I do sessions with, Lori, where her and I will build off of each other.
Yeah, like
And
me and you do.
I'll have her hypnotize me. I taught her how to hypnotize me, and then she may say something about what she sees during the session, which is fine because I know she's there with me. So,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
um,
You're
yeah.
walking like you're, invisible, kinda like that, like
Yeah.
you just know.
So Friday, I don't think you'll hear me say anything leading, but I may come up with a question that's not, I'm not answering the question, but I'm coming up with a question that I may not know
That
to
you
ask
see.
unless I'm there. Yeah,
Yeah, that you
right, right,
see what's going on
right.
too, because
Right,
I
yeah,
might
like
not see
like
it.
for instance, I'm looking at your animals behind you. Like if you said, "Hey, I'm here at the beach," and I would say, "Well, is anybody with you?" And you're like, "No." I'm say, "Oh, there isn't. Are there any like trees or animals or anything?" Because I may like the animals behind you. I may like see some animals or something. You're like, "Oh yeah,
Mhm,
there are some animals. There are actually some wolves here."
mhm.
So that kind of thing where I'm like, I'm leading you, but I'm not leading you. I'm like, well, do you see anything else? Do you see any animals or vegetation? Like, yeah, I see some wolves, that kind of thing. So,
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
where you see it,
So, and as
that they're
far as your
connected.
reading, and as far as just to promote your readings a little bit, you've done some of these card readings for me. You've sent me some mini card
Oh,
readings
yeah.
before.
Mhm.
And then Nicole Aubrey she kind of chatted with me a little bit on Messenger earlier today, and she said
Oh,
it was
yeah.
really good. She said it was a
Mhm.
really good session.
Yeah.
Um,
I knew she had the golden retriever. I seen that the golden retriever, like, licked her face. I mean, I didn't know she had that until she said, "Oh my gosh," like, that's crazy.
yeah, she said, I'll read it while you're getting your cards together. It was super accurate. That was her word.
Mhm.
She said, I was shocked at a lot of the things. There's no way in hell she could have known these things except through
Mhm.
her psychic ability. She's very in
Yeah.
tune. So that's what she said.
Yeah.
So that's
'Cause
really
I
nice.
when I'm doing this, then I imagine that you're, like, on a table right here, like you're like a Barbie size, and so
Mhm.
I'm kind of doing the Reiki on you as well, because we kept getting hot too, like, you know how it is in the sessions,
Yeah.
how you
Yeah,
do
I'll
that,
get I'll get either super hot or super cold when I'm starting to go in the sessions. So,
Yeah, because 'cause you're
yeah.
certified in Reiki or, Reiki, are
Yeah,
you in Reiki?
I've gone all through the attunements to be Reiki master. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, so it's like a feeling of heat inside. That's kind of like your insides are
Hmm.
just really super hot, like you're flushed or something in
Yeah.
that way. Yeah. So we have that, and that's what I kind of see when I'm doing it though, is like you're laying on the table, and then so I just kind of say whatever comes to mind too as I'm doing this and this, the cards and stuff. So, and as we draw the cards and stuff, then a lot of stuff will come up for us to talk about. So,
Mhm.
so here we go. Altered states.
Oh my gosh, imagine that.
hmm Yeah, just any comments and stuff. That's okay. Just whatever comes to mind.
Well, if people don't understand, I mean, I'm assuming that means like the altars and the super space
hmm
secret soldier program, or yeah, I just feel like it's just not a happy place to be. So they create us off into these altars.
hmm hmm
Gosh.
Yeah, and they've
Uh,
been formed through trauma. So they
yeah.
they traumatize, and then they uh program alters to be sex kitten assassins, because you've done a reading
Mhm.
for me before too, when you're doing the psychic scanning.
Mhm.
Is that what you call that, the psychic scanning? Something like that?
Yeah, I have a list that I go down, and I'll include some of that on Friday. I'll look back at the list of what I did for you, and I'll go down some of that in the questions.
Mhm.
And yeah, I have a list I go down, and then I see what stands out for me, and I just start to have a vision like I'm walking into one or two of those things off the list, and then like it
Mhm.
opens up, and I'm just
Yeah.
seeing everything happening. So
Yeah, re-listen to
yeah.
that because I know a lot of those things on there
Mhm.
are all the programming stuff, like the cloning tank. You said you see me at the cloning
Mhm.
center next to Britney Spears. So
Oh gosh.
mhm. And with Amanda Bynes, remember you talk about
Yeah.
Amanda Bynes too there. So
Yeah, I had forgotten all that, but because I
mhm,
do a lot of those readings, but yeah, I can feel it coming in as you're talking about it.
mhm,
And even when you put up your card of altered state, it just kind of caused me to have a shift to where I think
mm,
I was feeling some of that trauma coming in. So
mhm. Yeah.
um,
So not earth bender. So manipulating the earth elements.
mhm,
This would be like in other realities, to where you could pull up the ground, I guess, maybe pull up the rocks or something and throw them,
mhm.
something like that. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, before you said throw them, I could see them going out.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so what does it mean?
The little praying mantis, and then that's just their language. So it's just more of a download, and I don't always get the translation of these. It's more of an energy that they give.
Yeah, I feel like he's positive. I don't feel like I feel like he's talking to me, and he's
Like giving you
positive.
information. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a biography of him.
Oh, he's introducing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he's from and all that.
Yeah, I can see him saying yes to that.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely seen negative praying mantis too, but I don't feel like that from him. He seems kind of
No.
like a little professor or something, like he's just giving
Yeah.
information.
Animal communicator.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, my dog is it's like we're reading each other's minds. It's very
Yeah.
unusual.
Like he's an
Yeah.
extension of you, huh? Your dog.
Yeah.
Now here's one that these cards I created, they're kind of all dark though. My lab experience, and it's going to be like
Uh-huh.
in the underground, like a subway train.
Yeah. That's a really dark feeling that I get from that
Mhm.
one.
Mhm. And then this one, this
Hmm.
is more of a past life, as
Yeah,
that
I can
the
yeah,
witch.
I can feel some positive and negative lives from that. I mean, lives where I've haven't been a nice witch, and
Mhm.
lives where I've been more of what people would call the white witch, and then I can see lifetimes where I'm being, murdered too, for doing that work, and sometimes for helping people, but being treated like I'm just, the
Yeah.
witch. Yeah,
Mhm.
so even
Yeah,
though I'm helping people.
mhm. Like a midwife, then you're
Mhm.
you deliver babies and you help. make medicines and stuff like that, and but then you're labeled as like a witch or something, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It
they even
happens a
call them
lot.
granny witches. They call the Appalachia granny witches, you know? So
Hmm.
that's their names for that, you know, the granny witches and stuff too. So they have that's okay to be called that really now these days, but I guess back then it kind of has a taboo
Hmm.
attached to it, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of negative energy on that word.
The green goo is that's to make the Hulk, you know, those and they use those that serum, that green goo serum to like in the Marvel
Hmm.
when they increase the super soldier's strength, they give him that green goo.
Yeah. I saw that in my book I wrote about the super soldiers. I saw myself as a like a cyborg and as a super soldier and as even as a female super soldier. So I was more in a smaller, compact body, but everything was more dense. My muscles were strong, even though I was smaller and just that
Mhm.
kind of thing. So,
Mhm. Precognition.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, for sure on that. I mean, when my psychic abilities first started opening, I would have dreams, and the very next day the dream would happen, and it just freaked
Oh,
me out because I was in my
wow.
20s and it freaked me out. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. Wow.
So,
A lot of people don't pay attention to that, you know, like that.
it would be something really unusual in my dream. I would wake up and think, well, why did I dream about someone with one eye? And then I went to a restaurant that night and there was someone there with one eye. You know, it would be
Mm.
something very unusual.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And advanced human genetics.
So, what is that one about?
This is gonna be to where you have been, infused with the maybe like the, super soldier genetics, you know, like
Mhm.
advancing your regular, but then they have this like the green goose serum that would advance your abilities, as super soldier or other realities like the Marvel kind of thing, you
Mhm.
know, or even the ETs when they take you all the time too, then they alter your genetics too, to
Mhm.
so you can be taken all the time, you know, and
Yeah.
acclimate to that frequency and stuff.
Mhm.
Explore other aspects of yourself. I think you do that with the hypnosis, you know. I think
Yeah.
many of those.
Yeah, we do for sure. Look at other aspects where we've been broken off into other aspects. Yeah.
Hmm. Clear smelling. So do
Mhm.
you get that too? Like you smell people or
Yeah.
cigarettes?
Yeah, sometimes I do get that. It's very unusual lately. I mean, the first time I ever noticed that, I was talking about, I think it was Ford who created, the cars. And I said, I was thinking about him and I could smell something burning. And someone said, well, his factory burned down or something
Mm,
like that.
mm.
Um, I was like, really? My gosh, I could smell something burning. Um, but lately I've felt like when I'm in a crowd, sometimes I'll walk by someone and I literally think to myself, this person smells bad, but they don't physically have a smell.
Mm.
So it's
Yeah.
something about their energy that I'm picking up, but to me it comes across as, oh, I've got to get away from them. I feel I just hear myself in my head saying they smell bad, even though I don't
Mhm.
smell anything. So it's
Mhm.
something with the energy.
Yeah, their energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people are like, "I don't smell nothing," and then you're like, "Oh, their energy
Yeah,
isn't
and I've
good."
got to go like way around. I'm like, okay, I got to go way
Mhm.
around.
Like toxic. Yeah.
Hmm.
Here's another praying mantis. He seems like he's like on a spaceship, like a commander or something, you
Hmm.
know. And this is kind of like his biography in a way too, of where he travels to, or you know, the places like um yeah, that seems like where he's some places where he's traveled to and his uh what his title is and where he's from, but I don't hear.
So he's kind of like he's meeting me because I feel like he's on a different ship,
Uh-huh.
like he's separate from me. So,
Yeah. Mhm.
mm-hmm.
They're all kind of meeting you, huh? Like when it's
Mm-hmm.
so scientist.
Yeah, I've definitely
Mhm.
seen. lifetimes like that and an altar like that as a
Mhm.
scientist.
And working
Mm.
in the underground and stuff like that. The praying mantis guides,
Mhm.
do you have them?
Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Mhm.
I do or not. I think I'm kind of blocking seeing them because I have such negative memories of praying mantis. I don't know if I have praying mantis. Like I can see them in front of me, but they're not. Usually when I see something in front of me, it's going to shake its head yes, but they're not shaking their heads yes, but they're like looking at me. So
Uh-huh.
maybe I'm not letting them in.
Yeah. I think you kinda keep your guard, like, boundary up, you know?
Yeah,
So
I really work at being careful, like what am I letting in? Because I've seen some negative praying mantis in Antarctica, so I think I'm really careful about some
mhm.
things.
Yeah. And do you know who the Yael are? They're the hybrid race of the I think they're, like, what part of, Bashar, you know Bashar? How he's, like, the I think
Um,
Bashar's, like, the Syrian or the like, a Syrian, is he Syrian? But the
I don't, I
Yael are
don't,
kinda hybrid race.
I don't know. When I saw the word, I thought of ant people. I thought of Arizona, Sedona,
Oh,
Arizona
okay.
first. Sedona,
Oh,
I thought of.
mhm.
Yeah.
It might be too because 'cause they're kinda innocent like that, like a, kinda like a it's oh, the Yael are the ones who were spotted, that's what Bashar said, the Yael, were the ones who were spotted in Sedona, the Arizona Lights.
You're
Yeah.
kidding, really?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's really strange that that came to me because I don't ever listen to
Mhm.
Bashar.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw him in person in Arizona and I wasn't a fan. I was like, no, I'm not listening to this
Mhm.
guy anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, so that is true. And then, past life regression.
yeah, yeah, of course. I've like
That's
seen a
kinda
lot. I've
mhm.
been hypnotized a lot because people would come and trade with me because that's what I do. So I don't need anyone else to trade with, so don't come to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for years I've had people come trade with me and now I've got a couple of people who are good and I know how they are and we'll trade occasionally. So
Mhm. Yeah.
um
If you feel like doing that, yeah.
yeah.
So, and this is, what's it say?
Diamond grid work.
Oh, yeah, the grid work. So this is gonna be working on the Earth grid, like correcting any of the like attuning the Earth grid to raise its frequency because I think it was offline, you know, like off kilter or something like that. So then a lot of people will see that and have to fix the harmonics of it. Or I seen that
Mhm.
yesterday with Nikki too. So it's like she has to set and tune the frequency of the places of certain places and
Mhm.
bring it back to the certain frequency. So I think the diamond grid is probably that frequency of the diamond light, I guess. I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if I've done that some because I've moved to Sedona twice and I just got back this summer and I just
Mhm.
put out this intention. I'm not moving again for a long, long time. I'm staying here in the Houston area.
Oh, yeah?
But I will go back to Sedona probably by either over the Christmas holidays or sometime in the spring because I purposely left some stuff in storage there. I think so I would
Oh,
have to go back.
uh-huh.
So there was a part of me that I will go back on vacation, but I'm not moving for a while because I felt like I was being pulled to certain places to do things. And I'm like, no, I've got to do some stuff for myself here now. So, but
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
definitely have seen people moving and feeling like they had to go to a certain place. I think they're doing some clearing of the energy and creating a better energy. I see it as like a
The
kind of like a
vortex.
goal, kind of like a goalie or something, and
Mhm.
they're filling it with a better energy. So,
Yeah. Mhm. Because
yeah.
I think you feel it because you feel the energy, but I think it pulls on people, you know, to go to those
Mhm.
places, and
Yeah.
it might even eat their energy, you know, and maybe drain them too at times.
I think so. I definitely felt drained there. I could feel the high and the low energy. I mean, people go into Sedona like, oh, it's this high vibrational spiritual place, but there
Mhm.
were people right outside of Sedona with meth labs. I mean, it was this crazy like high and low energy, and I just
Mm.
saw it as pulling on
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Here's the star ancestors, work with you. The star ancestors are like, you know, in Arizona. You do hear about
Hmm.
that, them in Arizona, the star ancestors that are on like the petroglyphs and stuff, how they contacted the star ancestors, the Hopi and Zuni
Oh
and all them?
yeah,
Hmm.
there's definitely some Native Americans there who I think
Hmm.
are doing that. I did a hypnosis once when I was there. Someone did a hypnosis on me, and I could see some energy buried there that I had left. I think like I had helped create like the area or something. And
Oh.
it was interesting because I saw this energy buried there that I left, from like so many thousands of years ago or something before we were even
Mm.
considered civilized, I guess.
Mm. Wow.
And so I saw myself going there to, dig it up.
You had lots of experiences then,
Mhm.
there like that. Alien abduction occurred in childhood. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I can feel that. I can feel this vibration around there, me
Mhm.
feeling that,
Mhm. I can see
gosh.
the lights coming in through your window, the when you're little laying in bed and stuff and you sit up
Mhm.
and you look about 4 or 5 years old, you know.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Mhm.
Huh.
Were
Yeah, I
you
think it's
blonde? Did you have blonde hair when you were a
I
little girl?
did.
Mhm.
I did have
Yeah.
blonde hair. Now my hair is going back to being blonde as I'm getting
Mhm.
older. It was red. It was
Mhm.
blonde and then red and then, it's getting
Mhm.
lighter.
Yeah, 'cause it seemed blonde.
Um, yeah, it was very blonde. It was very like white, yellow,
Mhm.
lighter in
Mhm.
here. Um, yeah, I can feel that alien thing my whole life. And I mean, I could tell you a short story about that if you want to
Mm.
hear about an
Yeah.
abduction.
Yeah. Mhm.
And like, I don't remember anything from the abduction. I would like to look and, in a
Mhm.
session for myself. But I was living down in Galveston for a year, down on the beach here. And I would go to the beach almost daily, sometimes twice a day, because I love going to the beach. So I'd go in between clients and take my dog. She loves it too. But I would never drive at night. It's very dark driving down the road that goes along the beach and goes down along what's called West Beach. It gets very dark. Um, so I would never go down there. But there was one night I'm driving down there. I just felt like I'm going to drive down the beach, which is very weird. And I was
Mhm.
obviously taken there and I saw a craft and I took video. And I drove all the way down to where it was over like a factory with the smoke
Mhm.
and everything. It
Mhm.
was on
Yep.
top of that and it was spinning around.
Mm.
So, and then I stopped at a gas station and got some snacks and I just sat there for a while and I left. And I think I was abducted then and I just don't recall because after it was over, I thought I would never drive down here at night. It's very dark. The road is
Mhm.
not well lit, and I already can't see real well at night. So I would never do that on purpose for no reason, be driving
Yeah.
down the beach by myself for no reason.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
know I was taken and abducted, and I got some really good video of the craft, spinning
Yeah.
around and it being over the factory. So
Have you looked like your regression to see what happened?
I haven't looked yet, and I want to. I tried to look twice with Barbara Lamb. She's famous with
Mhm.
Rob and I interviewed her once on his channel. She's famous with doing regressions with people who have been abducted, and she said some of them are positive, and some people have very negative regressions.
Mhm.
I think when I went to her twice in California, I think I was just blocking it where I wasn't. I was seeing other things, but I was not seeing abductions.
Mhm.
So I feel like mine were there were probably a lot of negative
Yeah.
ones.
If they're blocked.
I have seen
Mhm.
myself in at least one regression actually on a ship, but it was a positive thing. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm sure I've had some negative things that I blocked. So
Mhm. Yeah, 'cause you have the super soldier, so
hmm
you would have had to have been taken and traumatized and alters created to be the super soldier, you know?
yeah, and they probably took my mom and messed with the DNA while I was still while she was
Mhm.
pregnant with me and that kind of thing is what I'm getting. And I think I wrote some things about that in my book about her being taken or and stuff. So it was pretty crazy stuff
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah. Oh, here's some more. Did I just pull that one? The abduction by the mantis. So that's probably
No, you hadn't pulled that
yeah.
one yet. And here
Mhm.
we are talking about
Yeah, the
abductions
mantis.
and
Mhm.
yeah,
That's in childhood, the mantis. So,
yeah. And I
mhm.
was saying how I have negative feelings towards
Mhm.
them. I said
Mhm.
that before you
So I
even drew
think that's
that.
why. Yeah, from
Yeah.
childhood. I
Uh-huh.
think this is a ship because I draw this kind of like it's a big uh space center ship or something like that, and all those little things are little like spaceships too that go inside there. So it's like a
Mm-hmm.
biodome or a biosphere or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So something like that. And here's this one. Military Black Project, Super Soldier, um, within the SSP. So we know that already.
Yeah, we know that. And I mean, I'm just seeing myself again as like I'm in a big clone body that looks like a man, like a really big clone body. So
Mm-hmm. That's male.
it looks male what I'm seeing, but I wrote my book about being a female body as well that was a
Mm-hmm.
clone, but there was a soldier. But yeah, right now, I'm just seeing more of like a male, like a very big male
Yeah.
body.
Well, look at this. It's still coming up. So it's just letting us know, that like to maybe to look at that more, huh?
Yeah, I think it's trying to get my attention to look at it.
Yeah,
And
because I wanted to explore that too with our hypnosis session, when it's taken. So maybe we'll uncover some stuff then. Telepathy.
mhm. You know what's interesting to me about telepathy is that a lot of times I've been pretty quiet my whole life, and people will say, "Oh, you're shy," and but no, I'm not. I'm just a pretty quiet person, and I
Mhm.
like to observe people. And if people aren't going to listen to me, like if I'm in a group and they're talking over me and they don't want to listen, it's like I'm not even going to try, whatever.
Mhm.
But I think part of that stems from telepathy, and I think sometimes I'm just sitting and I feel like I'm watching people's body language, but I'm really connecting in and I'm reading
Mhm.
something else.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah. The more mantis. So
yeah,
these,
gosh, the mantis are coming up a lot. My
yeah,
gosh.
it's like a whole different ones, huh?
I think they're letting me know that they're not all bad.
Yeah, I think
They're like
so.
they're
Yeah,
reminding me.
I feel that. And this is kind of flashing too. So when it flashes, it's like a different kind of message, some information, I guess maybe more for um kind of healing or something like that, codes and stuff, light language codes.
That's weird how it's flashing.
Yeah, it does that. Demons Underground. I
Mm,
know I made this deck kind of darker because it's like
yeah.
under the Vatican. I didn't like this deck because it reflects, like
So this
the
is
light.
your deck. This is your deck that you created.
Yeah, but I
It's
didn't.
nice.
It's nice. They're nicer like this, but I'd rather have matte finish, instead of the
Uh-huh.
glossy.
Yeah, especially to do it online, I guess.
Yeah.
Demons Underground. Hmm.
Yeah, that's like at the Vatican, under the
Oh,
Vatican. Mhm.
oh, like the whole Catholic.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
underneath the Vatican, yeah.
When I think I talk a little bit in my book about how I feel like when I was first taken into the programs, I was going to a private Catholic school.
Mm.
Yeah, so I
I
would
don't
go to
remember
that
that.
school. I was in third grade. I would go to that school, and so I'm in third grade. So I've already been in school first and second. I don't think I went to kindergarten, and because I have no memory of kindergarten, I don't have very many memories before that age of
Five.
first grade, which
Yeah,
is weird. Which is
me
weird
too.
too.
The same.
Isn't Yeah, because I've read that that's weird, and like I think we
Yeah.
don't know that's weird until we read
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I was in third grade and I would go to school every day and cry in class. And then I
Yeah.
started just going to the bathroom and crying. And that's when they were taking me. That's my memories. But when I was a
Mhm.
child, I thought I was weird because I was crying. But why would I
Yeah.
suddenly be crying at school? There's nothing wrong. I was happy in
Right.
first and second grade.
Right.
So,
And
yeah.
we're really like shy and stuff, so it's not easy to feel everybody's emotions and stuff and feel um it's like we're a sponge absorbing it all. And
Hmm.
then we're kind of mixed up of what we really feel and are. We just feel depressed or all these things, but it's like we pick up everybody else's emotions. and then go
Yeah.
home and cry because we don't know how to process. That's just how probably crying is the clearing it out of you, you know?
Yeah, but I think I was crying because I was being taken at that time because I was happy
Oh,
in
okay.
school before I was at that school. I was happy. And I have memories of being hypnotized at that school. So I think I was being taken then.
Well, here's this one.
Huh. That one looks different. You know, at first I thought it looked not friendly, and then I thought it does look friendly. I think maybe it's kind of deceptive.
Kind of the grays or something, you know, like that. Maybe like with the
Yeah, kind of
eyes for
deceptive,
paint.
like maybe trying to act friendly, but it's not. You know, I just get I get mixed
Yeah.
feelings about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about trusting it. So
Taurus.
what
That's
is
a
that
earth.
about?
That's a earth sign. I
Oh,
don't know if you
okay.
know one that's a Taurus or just this, that
Um,
energy of a Taurus.
I can't remember if my mom's a Taurus or a Scorpio. What
When is your
month
birthday?
is October? End of
Like
October.
yeah, Scorpio. Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Somebody in my family is a Taurus. I can't because someone talked about that, but I can't
Mhm.
remember who. I think it was one of my sisters.
Headstrong.
Yeah, for sure.
'Cause what's your sign?
Well, I guess it's called the sun sign is a
Mhm.
Leo,
Mhm.
and I don't know what time I was born, which is very unusual. It's not on my birth certificate. Um, yeah, so a Leo, which I don't fit with all of those qualities that I read
Mhm.
with a
Mhm.
Leo. So,
Mm. You are what does
yeah,
it say?
super creative.
Creative. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Mhm.
I could see that because I like to
Mhm.
write and I've always liked to draw on and off.
Yeah.
I
These
I think I think I have a connection with the cats, or they call the
oh
Lyrians,
yeah.
because I would
Mhm.
draw cats when I was a kid. I don't know why I would draw like lions. So
Okay. So this is where he's doing like a DNA injection,
yeah. Oh
altering
gosh.
DNA. Did that. That's happened when you were little.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's very dark.
Mhm. There's Orion ant people, and you talked about that being in Sedona because it's in the three the it's at, it connects with Orion, the constellation. Those
Well,
Chaco Canyon.
we were doing a surrogate session. I was actually talking to someone today to see if he wanted a surrogate session. I was doing a surrogate session with Hannah, or she goes by Hannah, and she hypnotized me. And she was on Zoom, but the client was there in person with me while I was hypnotized. And I thought I'll never have a client in person with me when I'm hypnotized again, or when someone's hypnotized, because she I did a regression with her. She got some information, but she didn't feel like she got a lot. So I said,
Mm,
okay, I'll do a surrogate session for you with Hannah. So Hannah's online. I'm with my client in person on Zoom in Sedona, and I'm regressed. Hannah regressed me. The client's sitting next to me. And I said, oh, I see all these like people, but they don't look like people. And they're like inside the mountains. And I'm saying something else. And the client said, are they ant people? Like really loud, she yells out. And I just said
mhm,
yes, you know, because I saw
mhm.
yes, but it startled me. Like I thought
Uh-huh.
I'm never gonna have a client in the room again, you know.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm,
it like startled me out of,
mhm.
you know, the
Yeah. Mhm,
session.
mhm.
But yeah, but I definitely heard yes. So they were ant
Yeah.
people. I saw them like walking around like as if they're in the
Mhm.
mountains in
Yeah.
Sedona.
Yeah. And here's UFO abduction. That's
Yeah,
the that I thought about the factory one there.
right.
Star family. So this is why they're coming up because they're part of your star family. The mantis, the higher vibrational, you know,
Uh-huh.
higher frequencies, because they're more
Right.
like playful
Hmm.
and creative. So here's some codes, information.
Yeah, I like seeing some of that. I guess you call it like the light language.
Mhm.
It's like it's going in my system. Like my human self here doesn't understand all of it, but I can feel some of it, because
Mhm.
I'll sit down and doodle it and I'll be drawing it as well. And
Mhm.
it's like I don't know all of what it is, but if I
Me either.
read it, some of it's going into my system,
Yep.
or if I
Same.
hear it.
The Black Ops soldier.
Hmm. Yeah, just doing a job, doing a mission, doing what
Yep.
we're told. That's
Mhm.
what I
Yep.
hear.
Programmed, huh?
Yeah, this is another one that I'm not sure if it's negative or positive. It's kind of deceptive to me. Like I
Yeah.
can't tell. I can't see clearly on it.
I thought of like a salamander being or something, Like it kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of like a salamander,
Hmm.
something like that. But I don't know.
I that just feels negative to me.
Does it?
It makes
Maybe,
me think.
maybe, what about that way? Same?
Yeah, kind of. It makes me think of being in the programs, some sort
Uh-huh.
of
Maybe an
machinery,
emblem or something. Like, oh yeah,
or
machinery.
or some sort of machinery in the programs. So,
Mm-hmm. Like a layout of the place or something too.
hmm,
Like a layout of one of
yeah,
the stations, like mapping it.
yeah, yeah. And I could see how with some of these things, people are going to get a little bit different than someone
Mm-hmm.
else. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. It brings up different ones. And then here's Wright Patterson Air Force Base My Lab Experiencer. So,
yeah, I think for sure. I
uh-huh.
keep hearing about Langley in some movies, and it's like I've been to Langley. I've been in the military. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure I've been to a lot of places I'm not aware of, but I've been to Langley on the base. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see them spinning you. Do you remember doing that? Spinning, being in a spinning thing like that NASA kind of program to where you would be spinning like that?
yeah, I can see myself spinning, and I used to love going to amusement parks, and I loved things where I was spinning at
Mm-hmm.
amusement parks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
But not now, huh? Not now.
no, I can't do it
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
once I had my daughter and she was like less than a year old, I suddenly I
Yeah.
couldn't do anything else. I tried
Mm-hmm.
going to an amusement park, I couldn't do it. I tried getting on a motorcycle. I just set something cut off in my mind, and it's
Mm-hmm.
still cut off.
Like like the vertigo or equilibrium or something. This is that
Yeah.
looking glass. Have you heard of that? The looking glass? It's like the um looking glass. I don't know the definition of it, but how I see it is like they could peer into different timelines and alter the timeline with the certain like editing timelines, or they could peer into the future and send soldiers, kind of like Montauk would be too, where they would time travel or go through stargates or portals to go into that timeline and alter it in some way, take out someone or whatever to alter timelines, you know?
Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, I could definitely see that happening. I know that I saw visions of it's kind of a spiraling up, like a place where people could go in and they could time travel, um, and do different things,
Yeah,
try to alter and take over and make changes.
that you see that as a spiral, like that's what the looking glass would look like.
I see the time travel machine that I see is makes me think of a spiral, and I'm seeing people moving through time, and I see it as like a spiral, the whole machine and the whole. I guess it's actually
Hmm.
not even the whole machine, it's just the whole system there,
Hmm.
of
Like a
seeing how people
Stargate looking
move.
thing. Hmm.
Yeah, I
Oh
guess you
yeah.
would describe it like that.
And then you're just given the coordinates though, and then they send you to that timeline, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, they'll give you the coordinates to go, and in my book, I talk about being a child and being taken to where being sent to spy on
Hmm.
things. And I was floating out there just looking like, okay, what am I going to look at? And at first, I was overlay of a bunch of places, and I had to pick which one. It's like flipping a page in a book. I had to pick which one because they were giving me coordinates. Like, I think what they did was they gave me coordinates, but they didn't give me the time. And I had to be like, oh, I have to pull it back, like open it up and look and choose the time to go into. So I was seeing several meetings, several things happening over time that I had to open up and go into. So it was interesting. I think that they probably just didn't have it. They didn't give me the right coordinates. They left out this time component.
Yeah. Mhm.
So,
Well, aliens love your energy.
mm, yeah, well, some of them need to go away.
Mhm. Healing your trauma. So maybe this is kind of doing that, you know? Kind
Yeah.
kind of talking about it a little bit, bringing it up, but releasing it too.
Yeah, I think people don't realize, like, looking at it, like a lot of people don't want to look at their stuff. Like, if you look
Mhm.
at it, it's a huge step forward to letting it go because that helps to start to let it go and then,
Mhm.
look at
Yeah.
healing from there.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, not just blaming stuff,
mhm.
and then not even wanting to look at it, So,
Yeah.
the implants assist the aliens. What's it say? And you're
And
tracking
tracking
your.
your health. And I think, didn't you say you feel like you have an implant in one of your teeth or
Oh
something?
yeah, a tooth up here.
Because, yeah, I was gonna touch here, and it's interesting. You're touching like right where I
The same.
mirrored, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I've heard of that happening a lot where they have it like up in the teeth area.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I went to the dentist and he did an X-ray, and he's because it's a crown, so there's no root. I had a root canal and then a crown there, so there's no root, and so I'm like, why is this hurting right there? And then he said, well, I can drill in the crown, and then the crown would be messed up, and that costs like $1 million for a crown,
yeah.
and then it's nothing on the thing. He said he would just be searching for something because on the x-ray it just showed my gums kind of straight and then it went like a lump right there, so I feel like there's like a implant in that area.
Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of strange that he can't figure out how to do it because if you have a
Mhm.
root canal there, he should be able to,
Yeah, I
build
think
it
he
up
didn't
and do it.
know. He was just
Yeah.
probably just guessing because he couldn't see nothing on the x-ray, so he just
Yeah.
was trying to satisfy me for saying my tooth hurts, but he said, I
Hmm.
think your teeth are just sensitive, so you might just switch toothpaste and like that. So he was just trying to help me with it, but I know because it doesn't always hurt. Like
Hmm.
a toothache, if it's a toothache, then it always hurts until you get it fixed. But this doesn't.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it would always hurt, and I have sensitivity to cold, so it would
Mhm.
maybe hurt when you have something cold or something
Mhm.
hot, not
Mhm.
just all the time,
Mhm.
like not just,
Yeah.
the way you're talking about
Mhm.
randomly.
Yeah. And then this is the red light district brothels. So,
Yeah, and you and I talked about, it wasn't necessarily that, but we talked about these brothels
coming
and
out.
when we first connected, when we first spoke, actually,
Yeah. Oh yeah. On James's show too, huh?
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
these two fell. They popped. I've already picked them out, but they like fell to the floor, and there's nothing here to make them fall.
Oh, they just like jumped out. That stuff
Yeah, to the
happens.
floor.
I took a
Underground
video of I
cavern.
took a video of my broom falling when I walked by, and it's like, well, that broom's been there for 24
Yeah.
hours and it suddenly fell.
Uh huh.
Um, yeah,
An underground cavern. Mhm.
underground. I mean, I didn't take a video. My camera was on, so I didn't purposely take a video. And I look back, I'm like, that broom just fell.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, underground cavern. I talk about being underground when I was first taken into the SSP as a child. So
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
the dumbs down in the
That's true.
dumbs.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
And then this one popped out too. The canine variant is like the hyena dog man,
mm,
like a dog man. I think they work with this in the super soldiers. You know.
yeah, I think I have some of their energy too. So maybe they
Mhm.
shared some of their energy with me or something. So,
Mm. Mm. I felt head pressure right here, like that, for some reason. Look at the trauma twin.
mm, well, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know how that's different from the twin flame. I mean, I know I had the twin flame ordeal for years and years here, so which was really crazy experience. I feel like that really holds people back. So what does the trauma twin mean in your cards?
The trauma twin is like how I see it as being um forced to, like me and you being tortured together, like having to say, if you don't tell us, then like interrogating us too in front of each other, and we're gonna do this, and then we don't want each other, like if we're sisters or something, or if that can be a trauma twin, you're twinning there. But it's like a twinning process, like you're syncing with them, like it's a deep connection with someone, and then you're both experiencing the same kind of trauma watching it, and um you know and it's kind of splitting your mind too, making you alter out because it's too much to process. And then you form that bond with them too, because you both been, like if you was kept in a basement or something like that and chained up, then you kind of bond with that person too. It doesn't necessarily mean twin though, trauma twinning, but I guess if it's like face to face with someone and you're kind of synced up with them, telepathic,
Okay,
energetically.
so we're called trauma twin because we both experienced the trauma together, so then we connect together because
Yeah, if we was together in like a interrogation setting with our hands behind our back, and then one of them's beating one of us up. Say one of the man's beating me up, asking you to tell the location, but we don't know it because it's in an altar. It's in another altar. So then they just continue on, and like something like that is a
Mhm,
how. And if we were sisters or we teammates or something like
mhm.
that too. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one here, sit in the sun.
Is that for like a healing thing, that one, or?
Yeah, I see you sitting in the sun and just meditating, not
Mhm,
necessarily meditating, just kind of sitting, and relaxing with the third eye
mhm,
like facing the west, so it's like the evening time.
mhm.
Did you do that in Sedona? Sit on those rocks and stuff in the evening?
Um, yeah, I definitely love being outside in the evening. In the evening there, it's desert weather, so it cools off a lot at night, and it's really nice to be out.
This kind of feels like the desert energy, that orange color.
Yeah, it's a really nice, I mean, that card is a really nice, peaceful card, I think.
Mhm.
Relaxing card. That card feels different to me. What do you
Mhm.
feel about it? It doesn't feel as positive.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it's a map of a place, like directions of a note to go to, and given the coordinates or what to do, like the
Yeah,
passcodes and stuff.
yeah, it feels like a secret a soldier
Mhm.
mission or place or something, you know.
What's it say? Healing abilities? Yeah,
Yeah,
healing
healing
abilities.
abilities. Yeah, I think I definitely have that, I've been told.
Mhm. And psi abilities.
Hmm. This is another one I'm not real sure about, that alien, like I
Mhm.
can't trust.
Mhm. It's okay. Oh, the wolf.
Yeah, I can feel that as
Mhm.
a
I do
positive
too.
thing.
Mhm. I feel it's your protectors. I see at
I
least
had
two with
I've
you.
had I've had several German shepherds, and I feel like they even look and feel like the wolf, and they're very intelligent. I don't
Mhm.
have one now, obviously. I have a little pug, but she's
Mhm.
super smart. I'm super connected to her.
Mhm. Yeah. In my lab with that triangle.
Yeah.
I see that picking you up in the childhood, and then a little bit later on, like when preteen years
Hmm.
too, to do missions and stuff like that with the
Yeah,
gray with the grays and reptilian.
I could feel that happening for sure.
This one is the mother of darkness cast,
Circus.
Circus. Remember that? Remember we talked
That's
about that?
that's what we first talked about in our first
Mhm.
conversation, or our
Mhm.
first time that we were online with them at James
Mhm.
Rink's channel. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. How we were that's like a whoever is um whoever, I guess it's off of points and stuff is what we were seeing. Whoever has points for taking care of their dress, or like they give it points or something. And I think it's mostly just, I think it's all set up really, whoever gets it, because then they'll take out the rest of the mothers, and the girls too,
You know
that's at
what?
the end.
You know what? Somebody's name came to me, and I don't even know if I want to say it on your channel. He's big in the news right now. He's been arrested. It starts with a
Oh.
D.
Oh yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I just really see him, and I see those kind of things happening with more than
Mhm.
just, him. Like, yeah, it's like we're just a piece of meat, and I don't
Mhm.
understand it. Like in my feeling is I don't understand it. We were talking about before we got on, like I was a teacher for years, like my
Oh
idea
yeah.
is to protect children. So, and to protect any woman, like I can't imagine someone just, or even boys and men being hurt in that way. Like I don't
Mhm.
comprehend it. So I'm
Yeah.
like, why would you do that? But I
Yeah.
just see it. I can like see it coming in when you put that
Yeah.
card up,
Yeah,
they're
because you're in
definitely.
another altar though. That's another altar or another
Yeah, but I
clone.
was like the victim, like you and I were the
Mhm.
victims in that. And it's
Mhm.
like I believe it, but
Mhm.
I don't see how could somebody do that? It's just crazy to me to
Mhm.
take someone's power, but they see us like animals, like we're just a piece of meat,
Mhm.
we're expendable, they don't care,
Yeah. Remember we
is
were kept
how.
in like a dungeon down in the basement area and
Yeah.
stuff too. Mhm.
Yeah, just go down, get cleaned up, and you're just like dirty and bloody, and just go down, get
Mhm.
cleaned up for the next time.
Mhm.
So, and I don't think
Mhm.
they were feeding us very much. They wanted us
No.
to stay very slender.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So me and this human person, I'm like, well, I was just see as you protect women, children, anyone who can't protect themselves, and you don't physically hurt someone, but they're just like, we don't care. We don't care about you.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
so,
Most of them are demonic,
mhm,
have altars and stuff, but that or they're all programmed too, They're all programmed
mhm.
too. Those are some green, I think they're insectoids or grays or like a gray in a reptilian or something.
Yeah. I think it's maybe kind of a memory of a family, like a soul family, or,
Yeah.
connection.
And here's starseed
Mhm.
and DNA upgrades occurring.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, we're witch sisters in good health. So that's those cards there. And then I'm gonna draw these two real fast. I
Okay.
don't draw
I
I
hope
don't
I'm
draw
not
as much.
talking. I hope I'm not talking too much, taking too much time.
No, we just had that the StreamYard. Remember how many more minutes it says it's 55. It just passed 5555, So I had an hour and a half, right?
Yeah, you did, and we were just anybody listening. We were talking before we got on. I've set up StreamYard and it just wasn't working. I set up the paid version, so it's not limited, but it was just giving us trouble. So
Yeah.
that's why we're limited a little tonight. So
Mhm. Yeah. Cuz we wanted to do Zoom, but then we couldn't be side by side. Can't figure that out, how that happens.
yeah, just all kinds of tech issues sometimes when like we're being blocked from just getting on and getting some information out there.
Mhm. All right. I see a lot of super soldier stuff with you, though. You in all the programs and stuff, jumping out of the helicopters into the ocean, swimming with the dolphins. Like I can I can put you everywhere that I can think of. I am. Like we work together.
Yeah, I think we work together a lot.
Mhm.
I think I could get a little bit more like enjoyment out of the soldier stuff and
Yeah.
um, than some of the other stuff. So,
Yeah, cuz we got abilities.
hmm.
So these feel, I don't know what kind of race this is. Seems kind of like a little person or something, but what would this be? Maybe like a helper?
I don't know. I mean, it feels kind of positive, but I'm not really sure what it
Yeah.
is. Interesting.
Mhm. Sometimes I don't know. This says this is a book. I just wrote this down because I was thinking these are books to that might help like expand people's research,
Uh-huh.
brain
Does he
control by
talk
that.
about, is that one that you've read where he talks about brain
Mm-mm.
control? It's,
Yeah, it's like a vintage book, like a old book from. I just seen a whole bunch of them that because I watched a video and then I was like, I'm gonna write these down. These are for research, and then I thought, well, maybe some people might want to do that. So it's all guided what I'm doing. I don't know. I think maybe I should just take that out, but then
no, I
maybe
don't think
not.
I would take it out. I think there's a reason that you had it in. I mean,
See
I
how
put
this
me.
looks like, kind of like it looks like it's streaming,
Hmm.
doesn't it? Kind of looks
Yeah,
like
it
it's
does.
streaming.
Yeah, it's really interesting how it is, how it's organized.
Hmm. I have clones of you created.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And this Nikki got this one too. I was thinking that this is like a portal traveling through or Stargate or something. Like
Well,
time travel.
her and I have been together, so you've probably been with her too, because you and I have
Mhm.
been together.
Mhm.
So that's interesting too.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me think of a machinery. I mean, when I was in the military, I worked a lot with it. It was like the aircraft electrical repair arm
Oh.
system. And
Mhm.
so it makes me think of something electrical, some sort of
Yeah.
machinery. Maybe
Mhm.
not even electrical, maybe something more advanced than that, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm. Like propulsion or something.
Hmm.
This says clones, um, genetically. What does it
Infused with
say?
ET, infused with
Uh-huh.
ET DNA. Yeah,
Yeah. Clones of you.
yeah, yeah. They wanted to upgrade us.
And then here's these dogs are like Syrian dogs from
Hmm.
Sirius. They're like the bipedal dogs that stand up.
Oh, wow.
You kind of They're kind of like Anubis looking, huh? Like that Egyptian dog
Uh-huh.
of the Black Navy ops at Diego Garcia. Do you know about that place?
No, I don't know anything about it, but I just feel like I've had a lot of time in the programs where I've been like a soldier, so that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Navy
I think it's like
soldier.
assassin
Hmm.
and stuff.
Yeah, I've done that for sure.
Moon base.
Yeah, and I've been on the moon. It's another one that makes me think of some sort of machinery.
Yep, like a circuit.
Yeah, it's like a circuit. You know, we would talk about reading schematics and working on circuit cards and just all that. It just makes me think of a machine.
Andromedan starseed.
Yeah, I was a couple times I thought about it, Andromeda before you pulled that. So, I
Mhm.
definitely have some family connection there. I feel like that's like my strongest connection.
Astral travel.
Yeah, yeah, I do astral travel.
What about this base? The 29 Palms Marine Base, my lab.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I would have to look at it. I don't know. I don't get a lot of like names of
I
places that I go.
yeah.
So
I think you're
maybe,
taken to how I'm seeing is like you're taken to do inspections on machine on the weapons and stuff, you know? Like you're like a the quality control person, you know, kind of
yeah.
something like that, looking at them and then also like pulling a few of them to shoot with them to see how they
Mhm.
operate and then also telling them how to operate them and then they'll bring in some better ones cuz you're just like bored so they bring in the bigger ones so you can show them your all your abilities with that the merging because I see you with like the clear goggles on and then like a the vests and stuff you know and then shooting and your hair's
Mhm.
in a ponytail you know and you're aiming at like a target like the paper you know the paper and stuff like
That
that.
makes sense because, like, even just here in this lifetime, I enjoy target shooting, shooting guns, and
Oh
I
okay.
I feel
Mhm.
like that. And I mean, I've been around in my entire life since I was a child, and I feel like that would be something I would more enjoy. And if I was out in the programs and I'm like on a mission, just I have my
Yeah.
mission, I'm a soldier, So.
'Cause I'm
Not
seeing you.
enjoy, I mean, we're not going to enjoy being the programs, but in all of it that we could possibly do. Do I want to be in a brothel? No, I want to go out and just be shooting
Mhm.
guns,
Mhm.
or training.
Right, right, like that, because 'cause you're really good at the tactical stuff, coming out down rappelling out of a helicopter and landing and going and running and shooting and stuff like that, like on your knee, getting
Mhm.
down and shooting, like, you're really good with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And here in this lifetime, I'm really good at shooting like the target, and it's kind
See
of
this
fun to
one?
outshoot someone. Uh huh.
This one's kinda like the I think this is the Greys, the Asgard or the Grace, the higher dimensional Grace. They give,
Hmm.
like, instructions and stuff. It seems like instructions, like a memory card.
Yeah. I feel like I'm hearing them say as well, like, we're not all bad.
Oh, okay, that's good. Mhm.
Yeah. That feels more, it's not Andromeda. It starts with an A as well. What are they called?
Is it Antares or Arcturian? Arcturian?
It feels more Arcturian, yeah.
Mhm.
Feels more of a positive energy.
And here's be bold.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to keep doing that. Be bold.
This a bunch of seems like it's a bunch of stargates traveling through.
Mhm.
And it's kind of giving the directions and stuff of where and where to like traveling through.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of like that. It feels like with those grays, those Asgards. Look at that.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely seen that.
And then on Mars,
Yeah,
is
I
it
have been on
on
Mars
basis?
too. Yeah, and I talk about that in my book too. I talk about the
Mhm.
moon and Mars and somewhere outside of Saturn as well.
Another praying mantis. Seems. What do you think?
I think he's trying to teach or give some sort of information, it seems.
Mhm.
Yeah, relay some information maybe. My
What about
dog
this
is
one?
moving around if I like
Ah,
reach over.
oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that one.
Mhm.
Definitely not as positive as the
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
not
then
as trustworthy or something.
yeah, something's kind of like a hybrided, like it really, like they're really foreign. You know, they're
Mhm.
really hard to communicate with and listen to, pick up their thoughts and stuff because it's like they don't really you can't really read their thoughts because I think they can block them or something too, you know.
Yeah.
And this is the last deck here. This is more the, I think the tall grays, the Asgards, leaving the messages.
Okay. It's interesting how it's like as you're writing it too, like I can see the difference in the language, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Like the symbols look very different from some of the other symbols.
Yeah, I do them at different times, you know.
Mhm.
The great, the mantis,
Yeah. He looks really different than what I've seen before. His eyes look really different.
and this one, trying to make it where it doesn't have that glare.
Yeah, he
What do you
looks
think
kind
of
of
that?
different.
Mhm.
He looks kind of different too. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe it is like more of a distant, planet, kind of a distant than what I'm used to, you
Oh
know.
yeah, Mother Mary energy
Mm.
with the healing and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not really a religious person, but I think
Yeah,
that there's some, energy where they weren't necessarily part of a religion. They were just part of like a higher spiritual, vibrational, being. So coming back over and over with that good energy.
I know I draw the mantis a lot because I have a mantis that's a spirit guide, you know, so they're trying to
Oh,
get
okay.
their information out to people, not to be always afraid of them too, you know. So,
Yeah, and I'm getting that as you're pulling them up that they're not all the same. And I think
mhm,
it's probably true in all races, races here and everywhere that there may not be darkness within all of them,
yeah.
and
This
so
is like a tall, what's it say? Tall. What kind of?
type 3 variant 1, tall wing strong or something.
The dog man, like the dog man.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
I was going to mention the dog man a couple minutes ago when you pulled up the Syrian dogs. I was going
Uh
to
huh.
say I've seen a lifetime where I was like a dog man, where I was like
Yeah.
I had the best strengths of a dog, but then I
Right.
also had the more of the brain of a human, where I was just advanced, and it was like it was nice to have those physical abilities of an
Yeah.
animal.
Mhm. The smelling and stuff, and to be able to track,
The
like you like
movement,
tracking.
like
Mhm.
even the movement of an animal,
Agility.
like
Mhm.
yeah, they can run and just
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
just their
The dog.
endurance and
And this is the
everything.
last one here.
Yeah, that one's interesting. It's like something's connecting. I'm seeing some sort of connection,
Mhm. Maybe it's
like
from those
codes.
mantis. Maybe from those
Yeah,
mantis, trying to connect them all or something like that to maybe something in that way, like healing energy and stuff.
right.
That's why I do draw them though all the time is because you know, they're my guides and stuff. One mantis, but I always draw them. People always see them around me too, the praying mantis.
Mhm.
So Telemphus is my mantis guide's name, and then I have a tall gray, and his name is Ingo. So I think he's part of like that Asgard group or something. But I think he also helped me with Hayden as well, you know?
Yeah, I can
So,
see them both by you. Talentus is like by the cat in between you and the white cat, and the other
uh-huh.
one is up more behind the wolf. I don't know if I'm on the right connect
Yeah.
direction of
Mhm.
how I'm
Yeah.
facing, but that's where I see them. And I see Talentus, is that the first one you mentioned? I see him
Yeah.
more prevalent.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
He's always communicating. And I think
mhm.
that the tall gray then was more just keeping like me informed with Hayden and stuff because
Mhm.
he has a lot of the Zeta Gray
Yeah,
DNA, you know. So that kind of helped me with communication and all that too. So um they Isaac asked about the Asgard. That's the tall grays. They're like Dr. Amir had told me about the Asgard races. Like in the higher dimensional tall grays is how he described them to be. So I didn't know their name either. I just call them what I see them, like the tall grays or the mantis, because names are really not my thing. I can describe and
Yeah.
see stuff like that, but to know the name of somebody is difficult to remember their name, you
Yeah,
know?
I don't really think of names usually. And when you mentioned some places, what was coming to me when you're like, is this place familiar? Is this place familiar? You know what I thought of was interesting was that I'm like, oh, I know why some of these places are not familiar because I would be coming and going with just coordinates. Like I would just have
Oh,
numbers.
mhm.
So, and
Yeah.
they may call it a different name than what we call it as well, but I would go more with numbers. Like numbers has been my thing my whole life, where I'm good with numbers. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just seeing coordinates.
Mhm. Yeah, like the remote viewing
Hmm.
and going into
Yeah,
that, like traveling, like where you could send your consciousness in to do an
yeah,
attack, on something because you have the access to be able to get into that location.
yeah. Attack or
Mhm.
even just remote view and get information.
Oh yeah, remote influencing. Remember we talked
Yeah,
about that too, doing remote
yeah.
influencing. Mhm.
Yeah, the influencing. And I even saw when I was a child where even though I couldn't really read very well yet, I could still, the words could come to life off the paper and the words could like
Oh,
talk to me
okay.
and tell me what was being said. So, what was
Mhm.
being written on the paper. So, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And you remember when we were looking at our Montauk experiences when we were going back and forth and talking and stuff about our shared memories of seeing each other there and what we
Hmm.
did and what we experienced and saw and stuff. And then you was seeing that you would be in that interrogation room with your hands tied to to the desk, like locked into the desk so you don't, because you attack people with your hands. There at the Montauk, you could do that, and then
Yeah,
you could
because there was
open up.
something in my hands. So
Yeah.
they had like gloves, like oven mitts or
Uh-huh.
something on my
Yeah.
hands. Yeah.
To close it to so they you couldn't attack as much. And then
Hmm.
you opened up a portal and then you went in and you was just seeing um several things you was seeing in that one. You was influencing someone to change their mind or something like that, where you could do that. Where they were writing something and then you were standing over them and then you was giving them another direction or something else to write. And then they changed the whole, like if they were writing a paper like the declaration or something, then they just changed to what you said because then that's what they heard.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
we did that. Mhm. We taped a whole bunch of stuff, like 8 back and forth sessions of the that was like 80, it was like 10 minutes each too, so it was like 80 minutes of Montauk, you know?
Yeah, it was a long time talking about it, like a lot of information. It was
Mhm.
weird when I tried to leave. It seems like I just opened a portal, but I couldn't just meet my family, kind of like a soul family, and leave. Like I had to travel a long way through these tunnels and I think open up other portals. And like my family couldn't come down to that low vibration.
Yeah.
I had to
Mhm.
travel for a while before they could meet me. Like they couldn't even come down because it was such
Right.
a crappy low energy.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah. And opening up a door or something like that, they needed you to go back or something because you was gonna help free the rest of the people. Is
Mhm.
that right? Remember?
Yeah, I remember
Mhm.
telling them we need to go back and free some people, and I don't remember even if I saw us going back to help
Yeah,
free.
I don't remember that. I don't think that they allowed it or something. Maybe you would have gotten caught, I think, if you went back.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know.
I don't know either with that. So, but okay, I'm gonna end this so it doesn't go over our time and stuff too, so we can get it out. And then we're gonna be back on Friday at 8 o'clock as Central Time um and do the hypnosis session on your channel though. So
Right,
did
yeah.
your doggy wanna say hi?
She wants to say hi, yeah.
Yeah. What's her
She's
name?
her name is Ren.
Rin? Hi,
Ren, yeah,
Rin.
just Rin. Generally, when some sort of session is about to end, she starts to move around, like she can feel a change in the energy. So,
Oh, like the closing of the portal, huh? Like the
yeah,
closing of the information.
she can feel it. She's done that so many times. Yeah,
Mhm. Hmm.
interesting. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, that she wanted to say hi and see me
yeah.
probably, huh? I can
Yep.
connect with her now. I can connect with her. she
Yeah.
doesn't, she just holds the energy for you, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does.
Mhm.
She's
Mhm.
I've never been so connected to a dog before. It's interesting to see it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna end this now, so and then I'll send you the copy of this too so you can post it on your
All
page
right,
and stuff
thanks.
too.
Thank you
So,
very much.
okay, and then we'll see you on Friday, okay?
Okay,
Thank you
bye.
all for watching.